right, everyone.
I'm not done stretching yet.
Oh, I'm
Almost.
sorry. Give it a few minutes.
All right, now I think
You
I'm good
did
to
a
go.
full yoga session right before we jumped
Right
into this
on the
session.
table.
On the table.
Yep, downward dog.
So, welcome.
Thank you,
to
Cole.
this access control coaching session. This is fun.
This
Usually
is fun.
it's either just
like
by
this.
myself or maybe some other people who are too scared to be exotic on camera, but
I'm not going to be exotic on camera.
okay,
Just-
maybe that was a poor choice of
That
words.
was a very poor choice of words, Cole.
As somebody who's exuberant
Okay.
on camera.
That's a much better
Usually,
choice of words.
usually Brock is the one in the comments sassing me while I sit on live stream. So it is nice to have him in person.
I
so
do
I
get
can
to be here
sass him
today.
back.
Well, I'm excited to be here today. I mean, ultimately on these lives, you only really get to see me when it's me and Dallin doing the live broadcasts. Otherwise, it's Cole over here doing all the access control coaching and training because really he's the smart one on the team.
I don't know if that's true.
No,
Well, I'm going to
think so.
take the compliment and run with it before he comes up with
go.
something else to
I'll
talk
come
about.
up with something.
So, welcome to the coaching session. As a reminder, we do these once a month, and this one's going to be fun. We're going to be covering marketing your security business and ultimately helping you become successful. And who better to give this session than our very VP of Marketing? So Brock is going to take the reins here and run with it. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. It really helps us out. And be sure to leave your questions in the comments so that we can answer any questions at the end of the broadcast. So Brock, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Cole. I mean, ultimately, the whole purpose about this whole coaching session is to help you guys be better at your jobs and help you guys thrive. We talk about it a lot here at PDK and a lot on my Big Access podcast and a lot in really all of the content that we put out there, but we are partner fanatics here, and so we want you guys to be successful. Ultimately, that's one of our big goals, because when you're successful, we're successful. So let's work together to drive that success. Cole has done a great job of putting on these access control coaching sessions to really make sure that you guys are learning more about in-depth wiring practices, learning in-depth about different rules and system events that you can create. And now we're doing a little bit more about the business side of things. So right now, like last month you did one on recurring revenue, right? That was a fantastic one. I loved it. And now today we're going to learn about marketing your security business. So hopefully this doesn't go all the way over your head. I've done a pretty good job of breaking it down, or at least I think I did a pretty good job of breaking it down into 5 main topics that anybody can do. So please, as we're going through this, ask any questions that you have. I want to help you guys be successful. That's my goal out of this training. So any questions you've got, let's go ahead and put them there in the chat, and we'll get to those at the very end of all of this. All right, well, let's go ahead and introduce today's 5 topics that we're going to be covering. So first and foremost, we are going to be talking about branding. What a brand is, why it's important, and why you need to focus on that. The next thing we're going to talk about is marketing materials, what you should be creating and what you should be leaving with every interaction that you have. After that, we're going to go into your website and why it is so crucial to have a good website in any type of industry. We will cover some of the basics of SEO practices. That's search engine optimization. That's how you are found on the internet. So we'll cover a little bit about that. And then we're going to wrap it up at the very end with covering social media. So social media is a lot of fun. We're going to have some great things going on there. So let's dive into it. First and foremost, a brand. What is a brand? Why is a brand needed? Well, let's go ahead and dive into that. So a brand is the identity of a business, a product, or an individual. It encompasses the name, logo, design, messaging, and the perception that people have when they interact with it. A brand reflects values, personality, and a promise that a company makes to its audience. So this is the emotional feel that you create anytime that anybody sees anything about your company. This is what causes your customers' leads to be able to remember you. So it's important that you pick an identity and stick with that long term. Is that a serious identity? Is that a silly identity? Is it a little bit more lighthearted? Pick that identity and roll with it. This could also mean graphical, a graphical identity. Stick with a color scheme. Stick with a different, a different white spacing. Whatever it might be that you are rolling with, keep that brand and that identity. Because ultimately the brand, it is more than just visuals. Like I said earlier, it's that emotional connection and reputation that you build over time. So what are the components of a brand? We just talked about how a brand is important, but let's talk about what makes that brand. So first and foremost, you've got the visual identity, right? This is your logos, this is your colors, your typography, your design style. All of those make up that visual identity that makes you recognizable. And you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, whether that's on a sales slick, whether that's on your website, whether that's in a video, it all looks and feels the same. Right? One of the cool things that we do here at PDK is we do a very good job of branding all of our content. When you look at that, you can tell that is a PDK piece of content, and that's because we do the same branding elements on every single piece of content that we build. So it's important for you to recognize, hey, these are my brand pieces. When you're looking at visuals, make sure you're using the same logo over and over again, the same coloring. You're not changing up the coloring or the skewing of your logo constantly. Make sure that you have one or two versions of your logo. That way it works against a dark background, that way it works against a light background, and that's it. Stick to that. The other thing that's really important is stick with a specific color. Do not just say it's red. Do not just say it's blue. Have a specific shade of that color. An example of this is McDonald's. McDonald's red is a proprietary red color. Nobody else in this world can use it because it is trademarked. And so with that, whenever you see that color of red, you've seen it enough that subliminally, your mind now is triggered to think McDonald's when you see that red. So start doing that. Another example is PDK, right? Our yellow cans is midway between yellow and orange. Some people think it's orange, some people think it's yellow, and it's helped us make a lot of fun marketing content out of that. But it is that is a color that we know it right when we see it. It's Pantone 143C. I know that because I have to deal with that all the time, but it's a unique color. So whatever color you choose to have be your brand color, stick with that. The next key component that I want to talk about is brand voice and messaging. This is the tone and the language used. So whether you are doing any written content, whether you are doing anything on a camera, whether you are doing anything on social media, make sure it all sounds the same and has the same flow to it. You want to be able to keep that same feel across all of your platforms. So whatever voice and messaging that you are doing on each one of those platforms, keep it consistent, because that's going to help build that feel that your customers and potential leads will start to recognize. The next thing is brand values. This is the core principles and beliefs driving the brand. So you need to have some core beliefs and some core principles centered around your business, right? Here at PDK, we've got a bunch of core values, and we actually build our messaging centered around those core values. Here we talk a lot more, a little bit lighthearted, because we recognize that a lot of people are humans out there in the industry and that they relate well to that. And so that is our brand, our brand's voice and messaging there, but it is also one of our values that we have here at the company. So make sure that whatever you decide for your messaging, that it matches whatever your values are at your company. The next thing too is you want to think about your customer experience, right? This is how customers will feel when engaging with the brand. You're always going to hear this, that they'll never remember what you told them, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. That is so important when it comes to marketing a brand, right? You dig on those emotions. You make them remember how they felt when they interacted with you. So make sure that you are consistent with that feel for your customers. And then also make sure that you have your positioning set, right? How is your brand going to be different in the market? How are you going to stand out from others in this market? Because if there's a lot of, gray fish in the sea, if you're looking for a blue fish or the best gray fish, it's going to be hard when you're seeing a whole school of gray fish. You want to look for that blue fish. So let's now dive into marketing materials, right? These are different materials that you're going to be leaving and wanting to generate for your business that will help you close deals. So the first thing that I want to talk about is sales material. Sales material is so important to have on hand and ready to go with any interaction that you have with a lead, with a current customer, really anybody that you're going to come in contact with, you want to be able to have some sort of sales material for them. So what should your sales material look like? Well, first and foremost, you need to have the features and the benefits of what you're offering. And those are different, right? Features tell, benefits sell. So be sure to remember that. Do not just list out features in a document, because features just tell what your services are offering. You want to tell your end user, your customer, what the benefits of that feature are. So, for example, a feature of PDK is that we have unlimited mobile credentials. Now the benefit of that is that I don't have to worry about issuing credentials over and over again. I save time and I have the comfort and peace of mind knowing that I can issue a new mobile credential anytime that a customer loses their phone. That's the benefit, right? Why does this feature benefit the end user? Focus on those in your end user sales material. The next thing that I want to make sure that you guys are doing in each one of your sales material items is using icons and graphics. Pictures tell the story. Not everybody is going to sit down and read a novel of a piece of sales material. They want to just digest it all chunk by chunk when necessary. They want to know what those benefits are, and if they're interested in learning more about that, then have the long form content underneath that, so then they can dive a little bit more into that. So use graphics to help initiate that story. The other thing that is really important is easy to find contact information. If you can't find the contact information, nobody is going to be able to contact you and get a hold of you. That's so important, right? You need to be able to have people reach out to you and be able to close that deal that way. So that's important. The next thing too is have both print and digital copies available. Sometimes you are going to be doing sales calls over a phone call or over a web call. In those situations, have a digital copy of this end user sales material that you can send right to them that will help back up what you guys were just talking about on that sales call. If you are doing it in person, have a a print copy that you can leave with them. That's very important. You want to leave these everywhere. And so whether you guys are making these end user sales materials yourself, or if you, well, I guess here's a shameless plug. If you actually go and take PDK's sales training course, we make one of these packets for you. We co-brand it with your own logo. So go and take the sales course. Go to accesscontrol101.com, sign up and take that course. And then you get this, and then you can go ahead and have it printed. This is a great resource for instructing your customers why they will benefit on access control. The next thing that I really want you guys to have readily available is a video testimonial. Video is the fastest growing form of media out there right now, and it is the easiest to digest. And we all know that attention spans are going down quite a bit. So while those attention spans are going down, it is making it more and more important that we focus on videos. So video testimonials. You might have seen that we have a bunch of these out on our YouTube channel. We call them case studies. I recommend making some case studies of your own that feature you and a customer or two of yours. And here's why I think that's really important. Potential customers and even existing customers, they love hearing positive results straight from your customers. That builds trust. When they see this video and they see that other people are willing to back you up, that goes a long way in helping you close the deal there. That helps strengthen your brand identity in ways that you can use this on YouTube, you can use this in paid advertisements on social media. You can get this out to every single one of your customers, and they're going to start recognizing that brand identity that you built. It also helps demonstrate the value of the product and service that you offer, right? If your leads are seeing that other customers trust you, that builds trust and that helps them to see the value of going with your security company. And then the other thing, right, we talked about this just a second ago, is part of your brand identity needs to have emotion, right? And so when you have these testimonial case studies, it helps build that emotional impact and will help them to remember these guys are professional, these guys are good at what they do, let's go with them. So get one of these put together, and these are actually fairly cost-effective to put together. I'm not saying that you have to do this yourself. You can go on a Thumbtack and you can find videographers, depending on your market. You can find them anywhere from $800 to $1,200 where they will go out and film this for you and then edit it up for you. That's not too crazy for some great marketing material that you'll be able to use to be able to generate a lot of sales in the future. There's a great ROI on video case studies. Focus on that. The next thing that I want you to create as marketing material is protected by stickers. So these are really important to put out there, right? Have a sticker that you put on every install that you do. And with that, I need it to have it say protected by, then you put your company's name, and then you go ahead and have your contact information on there. So why is it so important to have these stickers? I've got 3 reasons for you. Number 1, it helps create a sense of comfort and security for your end user. When your end user walks in every day and they see that sticker, it helps reiterate and subliminally tell them that they are protected and they are okay, right? That's what they wanted in the first place when they hired you to come and install access control and install cameras and any other form of security equipment. They want to feel that sense of security. After all, we are here to protect life and property, so let's do it. And let's remind them that they are protected. And so they're going to feel that comfort, and they're going to be able to reach out to you whenever they need to grow or add on additional security features, right? It allows them to always remember who to contact for all of those security services when needed, right? If they suddenly are feeling great and they're like, you know what, now I need, we've got this access control system that was installed by security company ABC. Now I need cameras. Well, I know exactly who to reach out to because I see that logo all day, every day. So I'm going to go and reach out to them and see what kind of cameras that they work with. And then we can go ahead and make that integration happen. So it's a way for you to have customer retention and continue building relationships and a portfolio with this company. And then this is also another big one. Other business owners look at other businesses all the time. That is the way that their minds are programmed. They want to look and see who is protecting businesses or what kind of things separate other businesses. And if they're seeing these other stickers out there, these, hey, protected by stickers, then those business owners are going to be taking a photo and reaching out because they want security on their business, right? They want to feel secure like what other companies feel. So,
yeah, this was actually very evident in our recent Atlanta Pro Connect last year. We hosted it at a gun club, which was a super cool venue.
oh, it was.
But more importantly, it was serviced by one of our integrators in attendance. And that was something that everyone commented on.
Yeah.
All the other integrators were looking at that. Obviously, we didn't have any end users in attendance, but all the other integrators were looking at that with envy, like, man, how did you land a job like this? So it sells even to other integrators. So
Yeah.
it will do the same to your end users.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think about how many other business owners go to that gun club and they were seeing, hey, this is protected by security company ABC.
Yep.
Well, I need security at my company. I'm going to take a photo of that. I'm going to reach out to them. So great marketing opportunities there. Put those on every install. Do it. All right. The next thing that I want you guys to focus on too is email marketing. And I'm not talking about just sending an email, checking in. I want some, a form of content that you send out to your customers that has a specific purpose in mind. So, why should you send email blasts to your customers? Well, first and foremost, that helps keep your brand at the forefront of their mind for when they need additional security services, right? Businesses grow, and you want to grow with them. And so when that time comes, you need to make sure that you have that customer retention. And if you are constantly emailing them, they are going to remember you. Now, I'm not saying that you have to email them, every week or multiple times a week. It can be, as much as once a month. Right? You've already closed the deal, but let's make sure that they are informed. So, what are some different things that you could actually send those emails out, and what are the topics that we can talk about? First and foremost, I want you sending tips and tricks to your customers. Teach them how to use the system in these emails, right? Teach them, hey, here's how you build this type of rule in case you wanted to do this. Hey, here is how we can do push notifications with door prop alerts. Teach them more about the system. The more comfortable they are with that system, the more comfortable they are with you, and also the less service calls you're going to get brought out on, which is always a good thing, right? You don't want that. So it's a great way to build that customer retention and reduce the number of overhead that you might have on running trucks to help train or anything like that. Also, make them aware of other services that you offer, right? Is that going to be, hey, we offer cameras as well. Hey, we offer Berg monitoring. Hey, we offer video intercom systems, things like that. Let them know everything else that you do because I'm sure they didn't go with your entire portfolio of what you have to offer. So this is a great way to help build that business and really help your customer to continue growing. Also, make them aware of integrations that can enhance their experience. Let them know that, hey, PDK works with digital watchdog cameras. Hey, it works with Savance's mustering reports. Let them know how they can enhance their system. So, send those out once a month, at least. The next thing that I want you to do as far as marketing materials go, wrap your vans. Do it. This is, yeah, and do it right. Ultimately, there is such a thing as a good wrap and a bad wrap. So here on this example, I've got two different versions, right? We'll look at the bad version first, and I'll tell you why it's a bad version. First and foremost, they use actual pictures of people. Now, there is a lot of depth and a lot of coloration differences and a lot of color fades on people. And if you're putting them on a vehicle, it is really hard to determine what that is from far away, and to determine what that and I guess to develop that emotional connection. So if you look at this bad example here, right? It's got people. If you're far away from that, it's going to be very hard to see. Is that a person smiling? Is that just a dog that's walking away? We don't know what that is, right? And then you see that there's a lot of different shapes and a lot of different coloration and fade changes, and then there's different fonts. That's bad, right? We can't tell what that says, right? That says help make Oregon our Oregon, but there's something above that and there's something in cursive underneath it. It's just weird. Too much going on. Keep it simple, right? Look at this leveled concrete truck. It's much more simple, right? There's not a ton of different fades. There is some different coloration, but they are colors that grab your attention, right? That lime green sticks out. That's great. The blue helps give the contrast that's needed to make that leveled concrete really stick out. They do have a fun little mascot on there, but it's not crazy, right? It's not a full human, and so it makes it easy to be able to tell what that is. So keep your wraps simple. Have your company name, have your contact information on there, and have it be what you do, and keep it just that simple. That'll go a long way. All right. Remember to keep those questions coming about marketing. I want to be able to help you guys be successful with your business. The next thing that we've got coming up that we want to talk about is your website. Websites are so important to make sure that you have a good website. If your website looks like it was something made on Windows 95, start over. Just straight up start from scratch, because you are not having people visit that website. If you get in and do all your analytics and you see that you have a fast bounce rate, under a minute, under 3 minutes, it's usually because your website is not doing the job that it's supposed to do. People want to gather information quick. People want to know exactly what they are looking for, and that means that you need to have a website that is up to date and that works well. So let's go ahead and talk about ways or what you should do to make that website user-friendly. First and foremost, let's make it clear and simple to understand what you install. You want it to show that you install access control. You want it to show that you install cameras. So show photos of your completed work. When people are looking for you, they want to find somebody who is willing to brag about their work, because these guys want the best. They want the best installer out there to come and install the best system in their facility. So show off those photos of your completed work, right? This is your chance to sell yourself. The other thing that is really important, make sure that your contact information is at the top of every single page of your website. That way it's easy to find how we can call you or how we can get to that contact page and submit a request form. Make sure that that is at the top of every page and easily discoverable. Next, make sure that you just create a simple menu. Don't make your site too complicated. Keep your buttons to a minimum and keep your menu, to 5 items. 5 to 7 items there with drop-down menus that can help customers navigate easily right to the page that they need to get to. Customers do not want to have to click through 7 times to find information about you installing access control. They want to be able to do that in 1 click. So do that. Make sure that it is a simple menu and something where somebody can get in and easily find that information, because remember, people are looking to find information in 3 minutes or less. The next thing that you need to do is make sure that you optimize your site for speed. Slow sites cause bounce rates to soar. If you try to get into a page and it's taking forever to load, the bounce rate, percentage of that is extremely high. People will get in, and if the page is still loading, they're going to jump right back out and go to the next search on Google and find that. And then the next thing that I want you to do, have images on your website, right? Have images of cameras, have images of access control, have images of your intercom systems, and use those images to tell the story. And then use the words underneath it and in the headlines to do some SEO for you as well. And we'll talk about SEO here in just a little bit. But use those images, and when you're actually naming those images on your website, name them your keywords as well, because that's going to help out with SEO. But again, we'll talk about SEO here in a bit. Actually, we're going to talk about it right now. So, I thought there was one more slide in between. I was wrong. SEO, this stands for search engine optimization, and basically this is how you make yourself discoverable on the internet, right? This is how search engines will find you and put you above your competitors in your area. So how do you optimize your website for SEO? Well, first and foremost, you have to identify keywords that you want to be found under. Keywords are those words that people will search out on Google. So a couple of examples of keywords that you might find here in our security industry might be door access in Anaheim, right? If you are in the Southern California area, this better be one of your keywords. So I'm just doing some free marketing work for you here. Put that in there. It could be a security camera installer. It could be a locksmith expert. Those are all different keywords that you need to be having on your website. So that way when Google goes crawling to find that, because an end user searched that, it will find your website and put you towards the top. Next thing we need to do, use H1 tags. These are your headers on your website. Use those and have those be your keywords. So you might have a page that is all dedicated towards access control. Have that H1 tag be door access in Anaheim. That is using that keyword successfully on your website. And then, like I mentioned on the last slide, make sure that you name your images after your keywords as well, because even your image names are crawled and found on Google. So the next thing that you are going to be doing is using Google Search Analytics. So what this does, Google Search Console, this helps monitor your analytics. And so when you log in here, Google Search is going to tell you all sorts of different things, right? It's going to tell you how your website's performing, what your bounce rate looks like, hey, how much traffic is coming, how many impressions are you getting on Google, how much, how many clicks are you receiving from Google. It's going to tell you all that, and you're going to be able to use that data to help develop your full SEO strategy. Because other things that it does, it helps you understand your backlink profile. We'll talk about backlinks here in just a second. This will also help tell you how people find you on the web, right? What keywords are they searching and what are they finding you under? And then it helps you to also adjust that strategy based on search models as well. So backlinks, you heard me mention that. Backlinks are really important when it comes to SEO. Backlinks are where somebody else on the internet links to your website. And the way that Google and other search engines see this is they see this as other websites trusting you and your information. And so they rank you higher when you have backlinks sent to you. And so it's important to develop relationships with companies that will send backlinks right to you. So how do you get backlinks out in the world, right? There's a couple of different ways here that I want to focus on. The first one, work with your local news sources to publish stories about you. This might be articles, this might be news stations, this could be your local community magazines. Whoever it is, work with them. Reach out to them and say, hey, I want to talk to you about security. Hey, I've got this press release that I want to have put out there. There's a lot of different forms of content that you can have put out there, and these guys will gladly publish it because they're looking to get more content out in the world as well. So in that situation, they will link it right back to you. Another thing to do is talk with your customers as well. If your customers, if they've got a blog, have them highlight the fact that they are now more secure because of what you did. Right? Let's look at an example of like a church, right? Maybe this church has a blog that they write a weekly message out on. Well, they might go out there now and they might say, hey, our patrons here at the church are now more secure than ever because we just had security company ABC come out and install access control and cameras. This will help protect us and help us get in the Sunday spirit more. And then they can link it right to you as well. That's a way to help build backlinks. Then there are other media sources as well that you can find on like Fiverr. You can reach out to different companies or different individuals on Fiverr who will, they have connections with other media sources out there. And these guys gladly go ahead and post backlinks in articles or post articles on other media sources that backlink right to your website as well. So be looking at different ways to get those backlinks, because that is very important. Ultimately, one thing that is really important to recognize with SEO is that SEO practices are always changing. The algorithm is changing constantly, so make sure that you are staying up to date and up to speed on search engine optimization tips and tricks, because it does change a lot. All right. Another really big thing with your website is making sure that it's updated and that you're making those changes often. Search engines want to see that you are active on your website. And so you need to be in there changing things around, making sure that, that your website looks fresh all the time. So what are some things that you can do to update your website, right? Oftentimes you're like, well, what else am I gonna put out there? It already has my contact information, what I do. It has some pictures. There's more that you've got to be doing to your website. You have to live in it, because those search engines, they want to see that you are alive. They don't want to just see that you are some website that was built in 1995 and now you haven't updated anything, so it thinks that you're out of business, right? It wants to know that you are still in business and you're still thriving. So first and foremost, update your website with promotions or deals, right? Have a new promo running, change out your hero images to show what services you offer, highlight yourself, put your most recent install out there. Again, your website is an opportunity for you to brag. Do it, because that is what your customers are looking for. They want a confident installer. Here's another thing that I think is really important. Build a blog on your website. Build a blog, okay? Yeah, build a blog. It's like Build-A-Bear, but with words.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like what you did there.
It's different. Build a blog, and here's why you need to have a blog on your website. Because that is a constant way that you are changing your website. It is also a constant way that you are able to add keywords to your website. When you get those keywords in your blogs, it redirects it all to your website, and Google's going to find that more frequently. So I want you building that blog. You know, you might be sitting here going, oh, dude, I don't have the time to go ahead and write a blog post. I don't have that time. I've got to be out installing. I got to be out selling. Use artificial intelligence. Tell ChatGPT what keywords you want to focus on and have it write you a short little article that you can put in. You're probably going to have to review it and make a few changes, and that's okay. But if you do that and you can then go ahead and put that on your blog, that's going to help your website out a ton. Now, not everybody can afford a full written content manager like we have here at PDK. We have a fantastic written content manager that I just absolutely love, and she freaking kills it with our keywords and writing great content. But ultimately, if you can't afford to do that, ChatGPT is the next best thing. Use that artificial intelligence there. So do that. Post about your installs. Talk about installs. Hey, here are some of the things that we just did on this recent install. And here's why, here's the security problem that this end user had, and here's why we installed what we did, and here's how it solved that problem. Use it to brag. Highlight those. You can also post thought-provoking posts. These will pull up pretty well in Google as well. Here's why access control is needed in schools. Here's why lockdowns need to be integrated with your access control system. Here's why cameras need to always have their lenses cleaned. Things like that, right? Have those articles put out in your blog. That's going to help create those thought-provoking posts to get you where you need to be. And like I said, include those target keywords in those posts. That'll help you a ton. All right, the last thing that I want to talk about here is social media. But before we do, I'm just going to remind you, if you have any questions about marketing your security company, please put those here in the chat now. Or while we're going through this. We are on a 30-second delay here, so we are going to have an awkward moment of silence if nobody's putting in any questions. So keep those coming in, and we will help get you all taken care of. So, all right, social media. You need to make sure that you have social media accounts for your business. Now, what are the social media accounts that I feel like you need to really have? It's Instagram, it's LinkedIn, and it's TikTok. Right? Those are the three that I think are the most important for you to have right now. Facebook, nobody's on Facebook anymore except for old people. And I mean, look, I'm a millennial. I grew up on Facebook. It was cool. It's not anymore. Instagram is all the rage. People are posting on Instagram all the time. LinkedIn is great for professional content, and leads. And then TikTok is also great for end users as well. So each one of these different channels has different verticals that you can create content for to focus on. So Instagram, that's where you can post a lot of your, I would say, a healthy mix of end user and professional style content. LinkedIn, I want you to keep that more professional. TikTok, you're going to see that it says maybe. That's because it may or may not be around much longer. We'll see what happens. I know we've got to save for a little bit. We'll see what happens here, but that's going to be a lot of end user focused stuff there. So, what should you post on social media platforms, and how often should you post? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. First and foremost, I want you posting short video content. This is going to be your reels or your videos that you'll see out there, right? And I want you to copy trending videos. So I've got an example of this. We have a really awesome social media manager here. Shout out to Haley. You do a great job of copying trending videos and looking at those videos and seeing how can I copy that and make PDK work with that and help sell PDK by doing that type of video. And she's killing it. You need to be doing the same thing. How can I sell access control by using this voice or this audio from this video, right? So always be doing that. Also, I want you to show installation prep work. Show your bench testing. Show, hey, I am testing these cameras right now because I'm about to go out and install these. I have these readers all wired up. Show your wires. Hey, look at all of this 4-conductor 2-pair wire that I've got. We're going to be getting that installed here, doing OSDP readers for an access control system. People want to see that you're busy. People want to see that you are successful and that you know what you're talking about. This is a way to help build that brand identity. And then when you're out there doing those installs, show the installation in progress. Show what that work looks like. Show how you do it better than others. And then make sure you're doing video and photos of that. Make sure you're having a good, healthy mix of the content there. And then when it's all done, do a walk around. Do a video walk around showing the completed install. So you are going around showing, hey, look at this reader. This is how it works. Boom. Oh, the door just unlocked. We're in. Yay. Celebrate, right? That's the kind of stuff that I want you doing. Also, you can use graphics, telling stories through graphic design, infographics. Maybe whenever you post a blog, have a graphic about that. Say, hey, here's the 3 ways that we think access control works really well in churches. And then also post testimonials. These can be just graphic testimonials that says, security company ABC was the best security company I've ever dealt with. They brought me snacks. And then 5 stars.
That's a good business model.
That would be a good business model, actually.
Snacks.
I like snacks. Also, do those photos. Those before and after installs are really great. And then here's something cool that you can do too. Take that pretty wrapped van that I told you to do earlier and go and take pictures of it in cool places and unique areas. Other installers out there are going to dig that, and they're going to like those posts. And that's actually one of the cool things about the social media is you're not only attracting end users, but you're attracting other dealers and installers who are going to be sharing those posts and liking those posts. And the more interaction you get, the more viral it goes. And so you will start getting more and more end users seeing the content if you also get dealers seeing that content as well. And then you have stories as well. So make sure that you are posting stories 2 to 3 times per day. This lets your audience know what you're up to, lets your audience know that you are busy and that you are a professional and that you kill it. Post any promotions that you're offering and highlight your post of the day as well. So you need to post something on social media every day. Highlight that in your stories as well. So there you go. Awesome. So there we go. That is the quick overview of how to market your security company. Hopefully that was very educational for you guys and has motivated you. Hopefully it didn't get you guys feeling a little intimidated. There are ways to do this. Artificial intelligence these days is able to help out with a ton of basic marketing efforts for you. So find ways to do that. But if you do have any other questions and want to learn ways or need some tips on how to be successful with it, shoot me an email, marketing@prodatakey.com. I want to be able to help you out. Again, remember, it's my job to make sure that you guys are successful. So reach out to me if you have any questions on how to market. Otherwise, here we go. We're gonna dive into the Q&A. We do have a few questions, which looks great. Again, if you have any other questions, get them in the chat now. We are on a 30-second delay, so as soon as we get to the end of the questions that I'm seeing now, we're probably gonna be wrapping this thing up. So here we go. Benji, are you doing full vinyasa yoga session? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am. So we're gonna. I had to hit pause to do this, so we're gonna get back at it right here in just a second. So can't wait for some cat cows, warrior 3 poses, baby. All right, Smooth Dog. All right, group question. What CRM do you guys use, and how do you use it to track interactions and the market? We are currently implementing HubSpot for marketing and deal tracking interactions. HubSpot is a great one. Especially for a company of a dealer size. I recommend HubSpot. I like HubSpot a lot. You can do a lot with it. Good email marketing, good social media interaction through HubSpot. Here at PDK, we use Salesforce, but that's because we're a large size company and we have a lot that has to deal with it. So we use Salesforce, but HubSpot I think is great for what you guys are doing. Smooth Dog also says, and add alt text on images. Smooth Dog speaks SEO. Well done, buddy. Yes, add alt text on your images. I love that. Smooth Dog again. Smooth, I like you, dude. Way to be. Smooth says, we have trained a chat GPT agent with the PDK product literature and basic security and access related topics and use it to write copy, and it does an amazing job. That's what I'm talking about, right? That is using resources that are out there to help better your marketing, which will help you guys to build your businesses in the future. I love it. Way to be, Smooth. I like that. And here I am calling you Smooth, where a few comments earlier you said your name is Andy. So, Andy, thanks, buddy. I like your funky YouTube handle. So, that's great. Well, anyways, looks like that is all the Q&A that we've got today. Oh, hold on.